Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna. Uh, I will continue reading this book um, in the preface from where we left off yesterday. Thus, in the 15th century, Bengal, there was a tremendous social and religious ferment, and Lord Chaitanya's appearance during this period, as well as Haridasa Thakur's 35 years earlier, had a tremendous religious as well as social impact among all the above clashing religious forces. Many Muslims were infuriated at the idea that a Muslim like Haridasa Thakura could convert to Hinduism, which was considered to be the crime punishable by death, as we shall see later in this book. The Smartas were outraged that a person from the meat eating race could become a prominent preacher and leader among the Brahmanas. They felt that the purity of their practices and their leadership in Hindu society were threatened. However, due to the pure principled behaviors of Haridasa Thakura, the Tantrics also felt that their census doctrine was being threatened and their target audience, the lower caste, was being seduced away from them by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers like Haridasa Thakura. Haridasa Thakura was reviled, abused, and persecuted for many years, although he also received the support of many pious and sincere persons from all levels of the society. Srila Prabhupada comments, there are many examples in history of the devotees of the Lord who risked their lives for the spreading of God consciousness. The favorite example is Lord Jesus Christ. He was crucified by the non-devotees, but he sacrificed his life for spreading of God consciousness. Of course, it would be superficial to understand that he was killed. Similarly, in India, there are many examples such as Thakura Haridasa and Prahlada Maharaja. Why such risk? Because they wanted to spread Krishna's consciousness, and it is difficult. Once Haridasa Thakura joined forces with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was tremendous renaissance of the pure principles of Vaishnavism, and thousands of persons from the Brahmana family as well as Muslims family, tantrics, and the folk cults all united under the banner of Sri Chaitanya philosophy, which was in fact the original. Universal essence of Vedic teaching, Varna class, was based on qualifications and symptoms, never birth. All human beings, in fact, all the living entities are souls, and anyone who sincerely practice the principles of Vaishnavism should be accepted not only as Vaishnava, but better than a Brahmana. The philosophy, despite being solidly grounded in Vedic scriptures, was considered revolutionary. There was tremendous reaction to it, and controversies, violence, and struggle broke out and have continued to the present day. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura spoke out very strongly against what he called Brahmanism. At one point, while leading a procession of Vaishnavas in um, Navadvipa, was stoned for his beliefs. On several occasions, his life was directly threatened. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada comments, so the bright right Brahmanism is not acceptable at the present moment. The secret thread inaugurated by my Guru Maharaja, according to uh, Pancharatrika system, and Hari Bhakti Vilasa by Srila Sanatana Goswami must continue. It does not matter whether the priestly class accepts it or not. When my Guru Maharaja Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada introduced this system, it was protested even by his inner circle of God brothers and friends. And of course, he had actually no God brothers, but there were many disciples of Bhakti Vinoda Thakura who were considered as God brothers who protested against this action of my Guru Maharaj. but he did not care for it. Actually, one who takes there to chanting Hari Krishna mantra offensively immediately of being imitated with sacred threads. Oh, sorry, immediately I skipped a line. I think becomes situated transcendentally, and therefore he has no need of being imitated with sacred thread. But Guru Maharaja introduced the sacred thread because a Vaishnava was being mistaken as belonging to their material caste. To accept the Vaishnava in material caste system, birth is a hellish consideration. He said, therefore, to save the general populace from being offended to a Vaishnava, he persistently introduced the sacred thread ceremony and must follow his footsteps. The system introduced by my Guru Maharaj is a chance for all the members of the society, scientifically based and applied, apart from exploitative sentiment of bite right caste system to become actually situated on the transcendental position. The pure Vedic conception of social division on the basis of actual qualification and symptoms has historically created conflict due to the attachment for control and mundane social prestige of materialistic religionists. Such attachment generated hatred for genuine sadhus and even their murder in some instances. Thus, the hagiography shall attempt to portray the heroic activities of Srila Haridasa Thakur, who consistently risked his life to rescue others from illusion and suffering created by misidentification of the self with the matter. Just as Jesus Christ was crucified for straightforwardly telling the truth and exposing the hypocrisy of the Pharisees, Parsis, and other cheating religionists. So also for the same crime, Haridasa Thakura was beaten in for the same crime. Haridasa Thakur was beaten in 22 marketplaces, despite exhibiting all the pure symptoms of empowered and liberated souls. His story has everything: love, conflict, drama, temptation, philosophy, ecstasy, reversal of fortune, tragedy, victory, inspiration, and transcendence. His essential teaching proposes that the happiness that we seek, and indeed the lives that we hope to create for ourselves, can all be found in all the syllables of the Maha Mantra: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This eternal truth has as much relevance today as it did more than 500 years ago. The message is an eternal as the message is as eternal as the messenger, Haridasa Thakur, who continues to instruct us even today. And I would like to summarize here. Um, First, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Uh, I want to apologize for my shortcomings. I do have the astigmatism. I cannot read some lines. I skip lines because of astigmatism, and I apologize for that. Um, Prabhu, can you go back to the first page? That way I remembered, like, if you don't mind, so that while I was looking at it, I can think about some other things. Coming from the Brahmana background, actually, I can tell even just while reading it, it just occurred to me, even if before I coming into the system itself, um, I do know that I can clearly see how difficult it is, particularly Haridasa Thakura coming from a Muslim background. I know that it is actually, I cannot imagine how it is a crime. It is a crime punishable by death sentence, right? So I can see how, all the outrage, from the Brahmanas families. I can clearly see even three generations ago. I can see in my own family, I can see that, being not accepting by the smarters, because they are coming from a meat eating background, and how will they accept it as a leader? I see that. Having even the pure devotional side, I can see that. But at the same time, but if there are looking for power in some other Hindu societies, they will feel they are threatened. So for their position. So I can see all the conflicts why, and there are instances of they were mentioned about the abuse of Haridasa Thakur was abused and persecuted for many years uh, for following the system he believed in. Uh, and there are many examples in the history as the Lord of the devotees who risked their lives in spreading the God consciousness. And we did talk about Lord Jesus Christ as well, because he was crucified by the non-devotees themselves. We did talk about in the same thing about there are many examples such as Thakura Haridasa and Prahalada Maharaj, who risked their entire life trying to spread Krishna's consciousness. And with that, I will actually go back to the last page. Yeah, and it did mention about of all the things they found. I think we talked about Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the mantra, indeed, that brings happiness for all of us. And there is no other way to attain spiritual ahead in spirituality. There's no other way. And in fact, the one which comes to my mind, which I was reading in another place, is this another Mahamantra that what we use, which is Harir Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti Eva Gatir Anyatha. With that, I would like to conclude my reading for today. Hare Krishna.